We are live. Okay. Welcome to Educators Drinking Coffee. I'm Juan Castillo, Assistant Principal here at Pasquotank County High School, and I have a special guest today, Ms. Maria Harvey. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Castillo.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Sorry to make you maybe get up a little earlier today than normal, but I appreciate you being here this morning. No, I just wanted to, this is our second season. Educators started this in the spring, and really just talk about things education. So, but before we begin, I just wanted to mention everybody, this is Educators Drinking Coffee, and the coffee I'm drinking today is actually called, I always got to find the camera, Don Francisco's. It's 100% Colombian Arabica, if that's how it's pronounced. It's medium roast. I'm usually a light roast kind of person, not so much a medium, definitely not a dark roast. But it's surprisingly good. I'm very biased to, of course, Colombian coffee that I buy in Colombia and I bring here. But this one was actually given to me by my my sister-in-law, and it's turned out to be pretty good. She sent it to me. She was my sponsor last season when I did this. So, what are you drinking this morning, Ms. Harvey?
I am actually drinking some grapefruit juice. I didn't have time to make the coffee this morning. It was a choice between throwing some makeup or either brew some coffee, so I opted to do the makeup.
No, I hear you. That's sometimes it happens to me. When I did this with John Lee last week, I just at last minute, and it was super hot. I don't know how I was drinking it. So this morning I brewed it here at school, and then give it some time to cool off. And actually, I'm drinking black coffee today. Normally, it's
okay.
Colombian coffee. Do I drink black? When it's instant coffee, that's for when I do cream and sugar. But anyways, that's probably my Colombian side. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit this morning, as you are one of the originals here at Pasquotank when the school opened. So just tell us a little bit about those days. Hang it, before we do that, I do have to show the folks here at home a little bit about. Let me know if you see who this young lady was back then. Hang on, let me see if I'm actually not doing it right now. So there it goes. There it goes. You're so serious back then.
I'm always a serious person, but that actually almost looks like a high school picture.
The hair was back in the day.
Oh yeah, it was big hair back then.
Yeah, but good. So you're one of the originals. So tell us a little bit about how Pasquotank was back then, or let's begin how you got to where you're at now. Where you're from and everything.
So I'm originally from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I attended Elizabeth City schools, graduated from ECSU. I still work with ECSU part-time. I've always had a foundation with Elizabeth City. So that's one of the reasons why I chose Elizabeth City schools. Actually, after I graduated from ECSU with a degree in business administration, I couldn't find a job for a few months. So I had a cousin who had also graduated from ECSU and couldn't find a job. So she started substituting. So that actually lit the flame for me to go into the field of education. I substituted for 3 years, and then I was hired as a teacher assistant where I worked for many years. I became a job coach, and back in 2005, I went back for my certification in teaching. So in 2007, I actually 2005, I actually obtained a teacher assistant position. In 2007, I was hired as a teacher. So back in 2009, I went back to graduate school and I obtained my master's in education, in special education. So that's part of my background and part of the reasoning why I am in education today due to that. I've worked in many schools within Pasquotank County, including P.W. Moore, North High School, where I got my high school foundation. And in 2000, we moved over to Pasquotank County High School, and I've been there ever since. I can remember when they were in the process of building the school, we actually went out there and there were wires everywhere, all over the office, all over the area where you are right now. And this was like in June. And I said to myself, how are they going to put this together in like less than 2 months? But in all actuality, they did. And we came into a nice new press team school. It's always been a press team school. So, I mean, I have much love for P-Tank.
I agree with you. That's one thing I really, I've joined this team. This is my 3rd year here. And from the moment I walked in, I mean, I got to give kudos to our custodial staff.
Yes.
Who many of them have been here, originals too. I mean, they keep this place pristine. You can definitely, there's a shine on our floors. There's no garbage laying around. So I'm very dedicated. So kudos to them. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes when you see like the mess at the beginning, you're like, how in the world are we going to be in that building? But those people make it happen. That is cool.
They do.
So it's interesting. You started like with a master's or a degree in business administration. I'll tell you, I had a somewhat similar. My original degree is actually a bachelor's in fine arts because my goal in life was to become an artist. And maybe I will after I pass, because that's usually what tends to happen with artists. But you become famous after you're long gone. But no, and then I was a soccer coach, and I like the idea of kind of teaching kids and stuff. And here's Mr. Lee. It says Harvey is a great teacher and an awesome peer. So thank you, Mr. Lee, for joining us this morning.
Yes, I have enjoyed working with John Lee over the years. As I said, we and Miss Townsend and all of us, we started out working together over at Northeastern. Pat has always been the same way she has always been. I've known them both ever since 1998, which sounds like 1,000 years ago. But what you see now is what you get now. They've always been the way that they are, and I appreciate that. I mean, Miss Townsend has always kept those offices running effectively each and every day.
I can see it. She's one of the most professional people we have here. More professional than I am, to be honest with you, but no, she is so great at what she does. I mean, I learn something every time, and she's always willing to show me how to do things. So I appreciate that.
Yes, and always with a smile.
Yes, I agree. So I want to know a little bit about, so through the years, you say you kind of started TA and then became EC teachers. I guess what's been one of your proudest moments throughout the last 20 years here at the school?
Basically speaking, since I work with exceptional children, it's always seeing them grow. Some of them are very quiet and shy, and I'm a talker. So I'll talk to the kids until they come out of their shell. And often at times I'll hear people say, well, they don't talk to me. And I'll say, well, I have no problem with it because we talk each and every day. I talk about their home life, their accomplishments and things like that, things that they can relate to so that they will get to the point wherein they're comfortable with everything that they do. And after you get to that level of comfort, the learning comes much easier because they'll be willing to please you, which in turn helps them in regards to their education.
You're right.
That's the proudest moments.
That's awesome. And it's true, it's not so much that they go on and have this, a career, say as a lawyer. It's not about that. It's about, especially when you're dealing with exceptional kids, that they end up having being advocates for themselves. They learn their own strategies to become successful. You know what I mean? And that they also, there's a level sense sometimes that you have to build with them is a level of confidence, that they're important, that, they can do it. And that's awesome because, what you do, and this goes to any EC teacher I've ever worked with, my gosh, you guys are so invested in your kids. It's got to be exhausting, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, and throughout the years, because, they need that little extra help. And then, you're one of their biggest advocates and supports out there that they're going to have through their educational career, and what's at stake for them in the future. So we do appreciate, all that you and, other exceptional teachers do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work. It truly is hard work. When Miss Kathy Lee says good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lee.
I don't know, here from Facebook, and I apologize for mispronouncing it, Miss Tiaka Hotling, and she says first year parent here, love her philosophy, awesome. Vanessa Pearson, good morning, Mr. Castillo and Miss Harvey. So,
good morning.
But yeah, just the couple, was it last year or the year before? We as administrators try to give you guys a break. And we were able to go into some of our exceptional classrooms, and my gosh, it's so much hard work. Nothing to take away from anybody else who teaches any other content area, but realize there's so much level of planning that has to go into individualizing, because that's what you're having to do with all the kids that you have in your classroom, is individualizing their instruction. It's not definitely one size fits all. That's not
this is true, and there's never a dull day. Each day is different. I don't care what the situation is. It's just different. So you get to the point wherein you just come in and you expect everything, and you roll with the punches, and you keep it moving.
Yeah, you also have some insight. To be honest, sometimes as we get frustrated with some students, and I think it's because we don't know a lot about them. And their challenges that they have, and you do, and you're able to kind of just work with them and be able to have them progress so much more than some of us can, because we're not in the day in, day out. So thank you. So let's turn into the now. So how are you looking to now, in this age of COVID-19, to really try to reach your kids?
Well, in all actuality, we're still doing some real life situations. I noticed that some of my students had some problems with counting change and things like that. So I actually went in and made up some situations wherein they would actually go shopping and they would count change. You would be surprised how some of the kids, despite their grade, despite their age, cannot count change. So when I find things like that, I'll go in and we do extra work, extra lessons, and I try to make it fun and everything. And the kids have really appreciated, me taking the time to actually go over some things like that. I mean, I related it to the pandemic and everything due to the corn shortage and everything. So those are some of the things that we do. I always try to do things that they can relate to, that they may not see as educational, but I know it's educational, and I know it's something that they need to know in life for beyond their high school years. So we always try to do some things that are fresh and fun and current events and things like that to help them to relate, so that when they have their own conversations outside of school, they can be able to relate to what's going on, to real life situations, real world current situations.
Yeah. I mean, and I know that's a key component with a lot of our kids, is those life skills. And in some cases, it's more than just talking about money. It's sometimes it's self-hygiene and things like that you kind of work with them. But thinking about life skills, I've always felt like as we have core classes of math, English, there should be some sort of core class of, and I guess now they're kind of mandating with the personal finance at the end for for seniors, becoming freshmen, but something like that, because kids need to become aware of the reality of what life is after high school and the cost of things, what you have to do. And to me, that we should do it earlier, because that may motivate some kids early on to make a decision. You know what? I want to go a different route, and I think I need to try to find myself a good job, and making sure they have the tools necessary. I think personal finance is great, but I think it should be in the earlier years, because even my daughter has no clue, about what something costs and stuff, and that's my fault to try to do that. But I think reality, then a little reality check is always good for all of us. So
this is true.
But good. Well, Miss Harvey, I know you're got to get ready for 9 o'clock. I think your live session starts. Good morning, Miss Crutch.
Good morning, Miss Crutch.
So I don't know if there's anything else that you want, any shout outs you want to give. Oh, Janasia Miller, good morning.
A shout out to everybody and a special shout out to the charter members that remain at Pasquotank County High School that have been there for 20 years. That is a lifetime for some people, but I appreciate you coming in every day and working every day and just the sure endurance of all of what's been going on with everybody over the last few months. Keep on keeping on.
That's right. So anyways, I do appreciate Miss Harvey coming in this morning, allowing me to take up some of her time. This is Educators Drinking Coffee, and we will see you next Wednesday with my next guest. I'm on the verge of booking my next guest, so I will give a shout out when I send my my broadcast when we're gonna have it. So thank you again, Miss Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo.
All right, it's been fun. Let me go ahead and